one thing we love to
Well,
do
yeah.
for these videos to close out is our city ratings.
Mm-hmm.
So the city ratings are on a scale of 1 to 10,
Mm-hmm.
1 being the lowest, 10 the highest. And this is, again, just a conversational like rating. It's a score. It's meant to inspire conversation and dialogue with other people. Oh, what would you rate it and why? And to hear people's experiences behind their scores. So we can start with walkability for Santo Domingo.
Okay, walkability for
Hmm.
Santo Domingo, I may say 3 out of 10.
Hmm.
I may, yeah. Uh, is this just on walkability, or there are other aspects to rate?
So yes,
No. Okay.
yes, I do walkability for the ratings. I consider public transport a very important dimension of walkability. I know you do too, probably, but I do the ratings differently. So for the walkability, I'm really just thinking about the walking experience specifically, and then also
Yeah.
a rating for the public transit system as you see it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So 3 out of 10 for walkability, and I explain why.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because well, first, because there is this conception that to walk is that you walk or you're a pedestrian because you don't have a car, you cannot afford a car. So it makes that pedestrian is less important, or maybe a second class
Hmm.
citizen of the city. And it also create other issues, because the priority in a pedestrian crossing, for instance, it is not given to the pedestrian, even if it is by law like that. And also in general, the larger I mean, the scale is, the priority is to the smallest one, to the most vulnerable, maybe the bike, or the pedestrian, and then the cars and the truck. Here is the opposite. So even if you're a pedestrian, even with the obstacles and the physical infrastructure limitations you have as a pedestrian, you don't have the priority to be protected in the city. So you need to get I mean, you need to get your own protection, and to be always aware of cars coming and of risks. So in general, I may say a 3 out of 10 for walkability.
Hmm. And then public transit.
Public transit, okay, I may say, okay, in general in the city, or I may say maybe 4 out of 10, because there is a mixed system. You have a private, non-regulated, which covers almost the whole city, and then a small part of the city is covered by a good quality public transportation system. So yeah, it depends on your trajects, on your commuting.
Hmm.
So you may have a mixed experience,
Hmm.
but still, yeah, 4 out of 10. There's a lot to do,
Hmm.
but there's a baseline.
Right.
Mhm.
And just to close out, how about just a few ideas? What would you like to see in the next, say, 5 years, next few several years for your walkability score to come up?
Okay, I would like to see more educational campaigns from the authorities, giving this issue, the walkability, the walkable city aspects, more importance. So the authorities talking about that, the authorities taking it into account in the investments and in the projects. Also, I would like to see streets being enlarged, and not roads being enlarged. I don't know if you get it. You understand what I mean? So instead of adding more ways to the streets or avenues, I would like to see how meters or centimeters being added to sidewalks. That will be like, because that will be a good sign. That means that we're looking the problem in another way, and that we are finding other solutions to for the transit and for the mobility need that we may have, you know. Yeah, yeah, and I would like to have the possibility to walk with my kids more in the city without car, you know, to go and walk, and that will be a sign of a more walkable city in 5 years.